would like for her to read me a story.
I know, didn't she have a soothing voice? Someone who loves herself some almond breeze is the one and only Cara Kneer. She is back now to talk about things that she cares about, and we're talking about life lessons that you can learn from watching the big game this Sunday. And the fabulous Trentster, in his Trending with Trent segment at the top of the show, told us that we were going to talk about this today.
Yes. I thought you were going to say at the beginning of that, someone who loves herself. And I just thought that was a good message to let everybody know that you should love yourself. Yes.
Someone who loves herself, Cara Kneer, everyone. Someone who loves herself.
Healthy.
It is healthy.
It's healthy. You should love yourself.
I know.
Okay, so we are, but you didn't.
Foggy
you kept
brain.
going, and you were smooth, seamless.
It's a live show, guys. You never know what's going to come out of this mouth or that one.
Well,
I mean, it's always clean. It's
fun.
always good.
Yeah. It's fun every day. So we're going to talk about, because I think the NFL in the past few years has got a bad rap, so a lot of parents are not letting their kid watch football anymore. And some of that reason is because it's a little violent, there's the prevalence of concussions and all this stuff, but obviously they're rolling into town this week. And this mom wrote an article for the Today Show that I thought was really cool, because she said she still has football on in her home, and here's why: because she has made it a learning tool for her kids.
Right.
Okay, so the first one is that she says there's no I in teamwork, which obviously we've heard before.
Of course.
But you know, she made the point, like in football, it's the ultimate team sport.
Right.
Because everybody really has to work together for you to accomplish the goal of winning.
That is so true.
Yeah.
I like that.
You can't tackle anything in your life. But I always go back to, sorry, I just had this thought. I always have this this wise man named Tim who works upstairs. He once said to me, he said, you know, if you're a really good manager or a good leader, or you are the best in your field, or you're smart, he's like, that happens because you have hired people that are better than you to work for you or with you. So you always want to hire somebody that's smarter, that's better, because that is the definition of team, and it only makes you better.
It only, and you probably maybe have worked somewhere where you've been like, you know, somebody maybe didn't go that route in terms of hiring, and maybe your department suffered. But it is something to think about it. You're hiring somebody potentially who you feel like is stronger, better than you, maybe in some ways. But in the end, that's what it's really all about, because you're going to be all contributing to the same common goal of getting the job done.
I like they said in the article, the teacher and the parents are the quarterbacks of life. Catch their knowledge.
I like that.
Did you like that?
I like that art.
Yeah,
I like that little line from that. I'll write that down.
And then they went into kind of specific players, but the second one is to always be over-prepared. And legendary coach Vince Lombardi, the Vince Lombardi Trophy, when you go out to Centennial Olympic Park, you will see the trophy predominantly displayed right over the ESPN set. But anyway, he once said the will to win is not nearly so important as the will to prepare to win.
Yes, I love this.
It's such a good lesson to learn, because in football and really in life in general, you need to be prepared for what you're about to do, and being prepared will then in turn give you the confidence to succeed.
Absolutely, but you've got to do that. I mean, it's one thing we even see people coming up in this field, in broadcasting and media, and you know, they just think it's so exciting and so glamorous, not just when am I going to be on air, when am I going to be on a show, and at the end of the day, that what it takes to get you to a place where you can really excel is a lot of hard work, a lot of preparation. You're never going to regret putting in that time, because it's just going to make you a better person. And I'll tell you, the times in my life, you know, maybe in the beginning you're kind of green, maybe you're not as prepared. I can think back to some times where I was like, oh boy, that didn't go as well as I hoped. So,
well, yeah, well, it gives you confidence. And that's different than making mistakes. Obviously, when you make mistakes, you just hope that you learn from them. But when you were talking, it reminded me, did you watch, I don't know why you would, because I'm probably one of the only crazy people that watched it, but there was this Tom Brady show on Facebook, and it kind of went through, it was 6 parts, and it went through like his whole day and what he did, and just thinking about how people prepare on the off season as well as during the season to be elite athletes.
That. No.
It was crazy. The man is brilliant, because wait, what am I saying?
What?
I just said something nice about Tom Brady. Excuse
I don't even
me.
know shit.
But I mean, he is so good because he eats eats and breathes and lives football.
For the game.
I mean, it was phenomenal.
Now, years ago, I think it was, maybe it was this time last year,
Yes.
and when they were in the Super Bowl again, we saw something that just talked about what it took for him to get there, and the kind of athlete it was, and that, you know, they were showing him throw and all the ways that he was a deficient player, and you know, at that point, and now what he has become. And it was funny, I was talking to this guy that I work out with, his trainer, who's a former nutrition and athletic coach at Georgia Tech, and I was saying something about everybody's hating on Tom Brady, and he's like, why would you hate on Tom Brady? He's like, because he's good, because he's a winner, because he has what it takes to
all those
drive,
reasons.
all the, you know. And it was interesting. I said, I don't necessarily. I mean, although I am rooting for the Raiders. Sorry, Tom. I'm just going for the underdog. But when you really peel back the layers of what made him the champion that he is, like, I can't wait to watch that.
It's pretty good. And he, you know, he was like a 5th or 6th round draft pick.
Yes.
So see, he kept going. And now he might be one of the greatest of all time. I didn't say that, but he might be.
He might.
Okay. Another thing that Tom Brady might be is also humble. My favorite player of all time, Peyton Manning. He lost his last Super Bowl that he played in.
I remember that.
But they were telling the story, actually Richard Sherman, who is a player for the Seahawks, he tweeted after the game saying that he could learn a lot from Peyton Manning because he had hurt his ankle during the game, and that Peyton immediately went over to him to ask if he was okay and, you know, take care of himself and that kind of thing. So he is a class act, and that's very cool. And just always think of your opponent in times like this. You know, when James is playing sports, even though he's sick, I'm like, make sure they're okay. And I feel like everyone's annoyed that I do that.
No.
But I just think you have to start early teaching them to, like, have empathy for the people who win or lose.
Absolutely. Common courtesy. Just, you know, treat others the way you want to be treated. It's a golden rule.
It is.
Okay, and Lance, can we get to the last one?
Do we? Can we? I don't know. I took my earpiece out.
Yes, let's do it. You're like, I'm ignoring everyone.
So the last one I also love is never give up, okay? So most football games last about, what, 3 hours? But
long hours.
do. Actually, I was listening to this podcast. Sorry, God, I keep sidebarring today. But I was listening to this podcast, and this guy said he walked into a bar, and he was hoping for like a quiet, nice dinner at the bar, and he was like, oh, sweet, the game 2 weeks ago only had 3 minutes left. He wasn't realizing that 3 minutes in football is like 30 minutes, and then it went into overtime, and he was like, I'm never going to get any peace and quiet, and this is horrible. But if you were, and then he said that it was hilarious because his boyfriend was like, I mean, if it goes into overtime, do they carry it into the next day? Do they pick up tomorrow? From like, where they stopped? It's like, no,
so
they
much
keep going.
For their quiet night. Exactly.
So anyway, yes, obviously you play to the end. You never give up. That's why live sports are so incredible, because you don't know how it's going to end, and it's gripping usually until that point.
Exactly. So I love that this woman kind of turned it around, the woman who wrote this article, for her son, saying, look, there's always going to be, you know, some sort of perhaps controversy over something that you're passionate about, but find a way to kind of flip the switch or pivot to turn it into a positive.
There's always a teaching moment.
There is. There is. Very teachable moments, Sarah. I love it. Okay, well, let's now get a check of the weather.